Hi, I'm Kate.
And I'm Bailey.
And these are our book boyfriends. Now it's just a little tradition. We have to dance every time.
Just a shimmy.
Just a little shimmy shimmy. Alrighty. How was your week?
Same.
Yeah, just work.
Nothing crazy.
Getting it done.
Reading all these books.
Proud of you. You got it all done. That's what matters.
We're doing our first Emily Henry today.
I know, which is crazy because we both really like Emily Henry's books. So that is very crazy, I think.
How many have you read?
I think 3.
Oh, I thought it was just this one. Oh.
No, my first one of hers, I think, was People We Made on Vacation. And then this is obviously the second time reading this book.
Yeah.
But I think all I have left is Happy Place.
You read Book Lovers?
I'm pretty sure. I did not.
I didn't think you did.
I own it, which is why I think I thought that I read it. But no. No, so I have only read the 2. I liked both of them, though.
Yeah.
I actually think that People We Meet on Vacation was the first sex scene in literature I had read.
Interesting.
Right?
I do not know what mine was.
Yeah.
But that would be...
Well, I was so against romance for a while.
Wasn't there one in Twilight? Kinda?
I don't think so.
Not like... I thought when...
I think, okay, so...
After they got married, didn't they?
So non-closed door.
Already.
Like, actual detail.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, I've read closed door romance where, like, you know it's happening, but it's not explicit. So I think this is my first... Emily Henry is my first explicit, which she's mild. Like, half a pepper.
Yeah.
And I was blushing.
Maybe one.
I was like, yes.
Interesting.
I know. Now look at us. Literally have a podcast that talks about it.
Oh, you were blushing then?
Yes.
I thought you meant like when you reread it.
No.
I'm like, why?
No, I was rereading it and being like, wow, this is mild as shit. You know? I mean, like, I was still satisfied with the book in itself. But yeah, it was funny because I remember thinking it was way more explicit than it was. Because for me, it was explicit.
Yeah, at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if we ever said the name, but this one's Beach Read.
Oh, LOL.
Which is Emily Henry's first contemporary romance adult novel she's released.
Oh.
To my knowledge, this was her first one. She wrote a few YA things, but I'm pretty sure this was her first romance, like contemporary adult romance.
I should start doing more research on the authors that we cover. Honestly.
I just think I've heard that. I didn't actually look it up to see if it was factual. Sorry, Joe. So we both reread this, so I looked it up. And 3 years ago, when I read this the first time, I gave it 5 stars.
Wow.
So I found that out before I reread it to see kind of what
Yeah.
I would give it now.
Interesting.
I know. Do you remember what you gave it back in the day?
No.
If you even did?
No, I don't. Yeah. I don't rate, like, on Goodreads. So I really only remember if it's a 5-star book for me, and those are straight up vibes. I'd say this one was probably a 4 or 4.5 at the time. Yeah. Wow, 5.
Yeah, I know.
3 years ago?
Like, 2020, I guess. Right?
2021?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, one of those. Is this one of the ones you read at my house?
What?
It wasn't one of the books you read at my house, right?
What do you mean?
When you visited me in Florida?
Oh, no. I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
Oh, my gosh.
And
yes.
6 of Crows.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. This one I read way before that, I think.
Must have been. No, I moved in 2020.
Interesting. I don't know then.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You want me to give the synopsis now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before you do.
Oh.
She had 4 books before Beach Read. They all look to be YA.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are
They
they?
look like YA romances, but...
Yeah. Well, there's one that's like a sci-fi.
The Love That Split the World.
Okay.
A Million Junes.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
When the Sky Falls on Splendor.
That's the sci-fi.
And Hello Girls.
Okay.
And I think that's with somebody else.
And what, girls?
Hello?
Oh, I don't know what I thought he said, but it was not that.
And there's another author on that one called Brittany Cavallaro. I was assuming.
No offense, Lena, never heard of you.
Yeah, sorry. But I'm really bad at names. That actually doesn't mean shit. So,
I'm not.
yeah, you are really good with names. All right, synopsis.
Okay.
It's
Sorry.
a
Oh my god.
Thelma and Louise, like, retelling.
Oh, so is one Thelma and one is writing as Louise? I know you probably
Okay.
can't answer that question. I'm just thinking out loud. I think that'd be cute, actually.
I don't know if I assume that's how it's written, but I don't
Oh yeah, I'm not
it doesn't
looking
describe
for.
it.
Yeah, I'm not looking for explanation. I was wondering if you had any other input.
No.
All right.
Okay. Joe, you sure? You ready? Okay.
But
Okay, so our main character, her name is January, and she is a romance author who is currently having trouble with writing her next book. That's kind of has a close deadline, and she's being harassed by her publisher. But her life, like her personal life, has been exploding. Her father passed away unexpectedly from a stroke, and at his funeral, our main character meets his mistress, whom she didn't know about. She thought her parents were this perfect little couple, and that's like what she based her novels off of. That's why she was a super romantic. And her father left her a lake house in Michigan, which I believe is where he grew up, that town.
I think it was, yeah.
And that's the house he would like go and be with his mistress when he left.
Yeah.
So she now has this like weird lake house.
Yeah, I mean, like, what a shame she was gifted a lake house. I mean, obviously, there's a lot to unpack with it,
Yeah.
but, like,
Yeah. Such a give it to your mistress, question mark?
question mark?
I don't know. But he also left her a letter that she hasn't opened. It's been a while.
I think it's been, like, over a year,
Yeah, like
I wanna
it's been
say.
a while since her dad died.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend broke up with her like not long after her dad died.
Yeah.
Because he said like you changed.
He's like, I can't love this version of you or some shit like that. It was crazy.
Very wild.
Yeah.
Her mother knew about the affair the whole time, but they like don't really talk about it. They still haven't talked about it. They're kind of like their relationship just fractured. So January, our main character, has a bright idea to move into the said lake house to write her next book. So she'll be alone in a lake house. She's going to write her next book. Then on her first night, she meets her new neighbor, which we find out a few days later that it's actually someone she went to college with. And it was like her number one competitor, I guess you could say, in college. So I like in their mind, like they were the best. So they would like, who wrote the better story, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. In her mind. Mm-hmm. I don't think he saw it that way, but that's how she pictured him. So, when she found out he was living there, she's like, my enemy.
She's like, of course. Like, one more thing to add to this.
And so they decided to do one more competition this summer and try to write a book in the other person's genre. So he writes literary fiction. She normally writes romance, but she's struggling. He's struggling. So they switch. And whoever gets their book bought first wins. They don't win anything, but they win the competition.
Yeah.
And so to get this done, they take each other on like field trips.
Yeah.
And so I think on Fridays, she takes him to like some romantic date. So I think they do like a carnival. Mm-hmm. Couldn't tell you anything else.
There's
TBH.
like a fun beach date, and then there's like a...
They go to like line dancing.
Yeah.
So they do like cute romance.
Stereotypical, like, cute shit.
Give me that sass.
And he takes her on interviews of cult members.
Yeah.
Takes her to an old cult site that was tragically burned down by the cult leader, killed everybody. Super random, super downer. But that's just like what he writes is like kind of sad shit. And so in his mind, his next novel was going to be about a cult and the members and how that dynamic works. So he has had these interviews scheduled for like a while, and he's like, just come with me. And so those are his field trips, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Yep. It was... I can't remember, like, how the conversation went down between the two of them, where they were like, oh, I think it was kind of like you try it. Like, it's really not as easy as you're making it seem.
Because she said in college, he would always be like, oh, another romance.
Yeah.
Another
happy ending.
Another happy ending. Like, ugh, of course. This again. And so which I'm sure he meant something by it, but, she was like, oh, he hates me.
Yeah.
He thinks it's easy. He thinks my job is easy and, like, he could do it on a whim because he writes these super dark, politically, like, I don't know, extravagant books, which I think we later find out that's not the case. He just can't, like, picture really happy endings. Like, in his mind, life is not a happy ending, so he doesn't like reading happy endings, which I feel like is very similar to little Joe over here. He likes death and destruction and ambiguous. He's not a happy ending kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't want things in a bow.
He hates
I
it.
want it to just be end with no answer or end with main characters dying. That's the best type
And
of
we're
ending.
like, give me an epilogue. Like, I want to know what happens after.
No,
Like,
I don't care.
I feel like I don't know. Sometimes with romances though, I'm like, great with romance though. Like,
I mean, yeah.
if I don't know the end game, like just I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I read all that for what? I need to know the time I invested was worth it. I need
Yeah.
to see you're married and have children now.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense for like that type of book.
Yeah.
But I guess if you watch Bride, you know that I like the plot, and
Correct.
I like things to end.
I think I'm getting better.
more realistic.
Some of my favorite movies though are like not like I like Inception. That's an ambiguous ending. That's one of my favorite movies. You know, the ending's ambiguous. Like it doesn't tell you what it is.
Yeah, no, I hate that.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's another book I didn't like, but there was an ambiguous ending, but that's not why I didn't like it. The Cabin at the End of the World. It's like a horror novel that has a super ambiguous ending. I liked the ending, but I didn't necessarily like the
No,
book.
if I'm like turning the last page of the book and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm mad, honestly. Like, I do want it all wrapped up in a bow and happy. And then I also want to see 5 years in the future because I don't want, like, I want to know as much as possible, but I want to know that they're happy and I want to know the end. Yeah, no. I can't remember how Inception ends, and it's probably because I wasn't happy with how it ended.
Probably.
But
You
I've
probably
seen
never
it.
watched it.
I've seen it so many times.
Oh, wow.
But can I tell you how it ends? No. Probably because it wasn't wrapped up in a fucking bow. So in my brain, it's still going on. Like, I don't know.
If only.
It's still
I
going
mean, if you
on.
took it at surface level, it was wrapped up in a bow. Like he gets back with his kids.
But,
Exactly.
the
You
thing
remember
is,
now? Is it coming to you?
yes.
Is he actually awake?
No.
Or is he in a dream?
See? That makes me mad.
No, I love it.
No.
And people will watch it over and over again and like analyze the
there's
shit out of
That
it.
is one of the movies that you can. Like, you
If
can
he's
watch
wearing
that
the
over
ring,
and over again.
like each
Yeah.
scene, is he wearing the ring? Like there's like all kinds of
Yeah.
crazy rabbit holes you can go down.
No, like, I appreciate the story. Like, the story is really, really cool. But also, like,
Do you like Fourth Wing?
what do you mean?
Did you like the story
Yeah.
so far? Anyway,
So far. But I also know that there's more. And I'm gonna get to the end of it eventually. There's gonna
and it
be
might
an
end in a
end
bow.
that might end up in a bow. Or everyone dies. Either way, it's an ending.
You're like, you know what's happening.
Yeah.
I just finished Oathbringer, and I really thought everybody was going to die in the end of that book.
You're like, oh no.
Well, those are chunky books too, right?
Yeah. They're like at least 1,500 pages each.
Honestly,
At least.
He's been trying to. He's wearing me down to start it.
I said
We
she just needs to
should.
jump into the deep end. Just go straight into
like
the most
Way of Kings.
epic fantasy ever.
yeah, do it. I have full faith in you.
Wow, that's great.
Let's get it done. I want to start reading Game of Thrones. I know
It's
we
not
have
finished.
totally. Yeah, sorry.
Anyhoozle.
We do that.
If you want a
so
bow,
bad.
don't start Game of Thrones. There's literally not a last book.
There's gonna be.
Is there?
He's like 78,
He's gonna die.
not healthy.
Stop.
You didn't know that?
There's gonna be a last
Okay.
book.
Anyway,
No.
someone else is gonna
Oh
write
my
it.
God.
I don't
He's
think...
gonna have to die for it to be finished. That's my.
Didn't Robert Jordan pass away and then Brandon Sanderson finished his
Correct.
storyline?
Who's
See,
going to finish his?
Patrick Rothfuss. He also can't finish his own shit though. No,
No.
offense,
he's the
Patrick.
Name of the Wind guy, right?
Ooh, you think John Gwynn
No.
would
Oh.
be good?
No.
They're
Really?
not friends.
They don't match.
Does anyone like? I don't know. I don't read him. You
The
read all
only
of them.
person that I could see is Joe Abercrombie. But
Oh yeah,
I don't think
See,
he
I
would
know
do
all
it.
of these names. Haven't read a lick of any of them.
not a
Joe
lick.
Abercrombie is another grimdark writer. So,
Yeah, I forgot
or
about him.
He kind of hates that he's called grimdark, but
Anywho,
that's the only person
He is
I
what
can
he
see.
is.
John Glenn,
Yeah.
not.
If that's
I
the way
don't-
that your readers see you, I'm sorry about it, but ooh.
Yeah, it's just too complicated of a storyline that I feel like it would be pretty hard to finish.
Like if you didn't know
Yeah.
his intention.
Yeah,
maybe he has notes.
I'm sure he has plenty of notes, but
Write it. Let's go. Get it done.
he's old as fuck, really unhealthy, and it's taken 10 years. 10 plus years.
Yes.
You know where it's been out for a long time, so this is going to be spoilers for Game of Thrones. So skipped ahead. But when Jon Snow dies, that's where the book's
That's where the book's in.
You're joking.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wait. So we could have a totally different timeline.
Well, the books don't after I think like season 4 or something. They don't line up anymore. Like it's completely different.
See, I think I'll still read it.
I mean, I want to read it. Like I know I would love them.
I
but
have them all.
I just don't want to get to that part and be like, okay. And I also have a theory that the ending was pretty much going to be what season 8 was, and nobody liked that. So he has spent the last long time trying to scramble to
He's
fix
like,
that.
all right, take
Gotta
notes
fix
on what
that.
they hate.
Yeah.
Switch it up.
Yeah.
Honestly.
All right, back on.
What?
Anyway, we're going to talk about the guy. We never said his name. Augustus
Yeah.
Everett.
I love that name.
I hate it.
Oh,
So, it's so much. It's a whole mouthful.
Augustus?
Everett. All of it together.
Augustus.
Say his
Augustus Everett.
It's just
It's
a
really
lot.
not that bad.
It's a lot. I hate it. It's too much.
Okay.
Everett's a lot, and then the first name's even more.
Augustus.
It's just a lot. So
Yeah.
they call him Gus,
Yeah.
but that's his name. I wrote some of his description down.
Okay.
Curly brown hair. Messy. He's got some grays. Which, I mean, she's 29, so he can't be terribly older than her.
Yeah, I think, and he was like 2 or 3 years older than her, and in the same writing program, I want to say.
Well, I know she had to drop out because her mom did have cancer like a few times. Yeah, I mean, she's fine now, but so she had to drop out of the writing program. So I don't know if she ever finished. I mean, I'm sure she has like a bachelor's, but I think she was in like graduate school for writing and then had to drop out because her mom got cancer again. So that's not really important. But
I mean, it is.
he has high cheekbones, a crooked mouth, a husky voice, whatever. So I was like trying to think of a whatever it's
A
called.
fan cast?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you? Oh, I'm so excited. I've been waiting to tell you this.
Oh my gosh.
Are
Okay.
you ready?
I am ready.
Jesse from Gilmore Girls. Like,
Stop! Because of the crooked mouth and the curly. Oh, wait.
and these are Bright's books. He wrote a book.
Listen.
When the adult Jesse.
Oh my god.
Wasn't that perfect? It's Milo Ventimiglia. He's on This Is Us. He's the dad on This Is Us as well. But he's Jesse on Gilmore Girls. But if you watch the Gilmore Girls A Year in the Life when they're adults.
I hate it. I only watched the first episode and I hated it.
Did you see Jesse?
Yeah, I did. Gorgeous man.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So adult Jesse, obviously not teen
I
fuckboy
actually
Jesse.
didn't know until you told me that he's the guy from This Is Us.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought that was another attractive gentleman. I was like, whoa.
With the crooked eyes mouth.
But I didn't notice the cricket. I've never watched the show. I've only seen the commercials, so it wasn't like an actual feature that I noticed. And then you said that, and I was like, "Fucking duh!" Like, how did I not see that? Ugh, gorgeous.
But isn't that a good one, Jesse?
is. No.
Even his vibes, because he was not a great teen.
Yeah,
Had a troubled upbringing.
yeah, I did.
Wrote a book.
Yeah,
It's great.
yeah.
And she's I don't want to say she's
no,
like Rory.
let's not.
I hate Rory's kind of awful.
She's kind of awful.
So, but yeah, Jess. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I think it is.
Thank you.
I was like, why is she talking about his description? I was like, we
Because-
never
I know.
yeah,
Because I was trying to fan cast, so I wrote anytime she'd say anything descriptive of him.
Oh yeah.
And then when I could see it all, I was like, oh my god.
Oh my gosh, it's Jessie.
So it helped that way.
I don't even know what her character is supposed to look like. Like, I
Not
don't,
a clue.
I think she has brunette hair. I think she's like medium.
I didn't
like,
write anything
height.
here about her.
Yeah.
I don't care about her.
Okay. Yeah. No,
care
makes
about
sense.
Jessie.
These are our book boyfriends actually. So this one is Augustus, who looks like Jessie.
Yeah. Or Gus, right? Isn't that what she called him?
Gus.
Because everyone in this town calls him Everett. Mm-hmm. And so when they first run into each other at a bookstore, they don't say oh my god, hi, nice to see you again. They act like they've never met. Mm-hmm. And so at first they both think the other forgot. But I guess they go to this book club and she keeps calling him Gus. And so it was so cute. He's like, January, you've called me Gus several times. No one calls me that.
Yeah.
People have only called me that in college. I know you remember me because you're calling me my name.
Yeah.
When everyone else calls me Everett, you wouldn't have known that's my name.
Yeah.
So that whole scene, and he was like, "Come on, January, I remember you."
Yeah. Where he was like, let's stop playing.
I literally squealed. I went,
Yeah,
I loved it.
It is pretty predictable in that when the girl is like, "Yeah, we are arch nemesis, and he hated me, and blah blah blah," and you're like, "Oh, he was in love with her." Like from the get, like he was in love with her. Sounds good.
Which
like,
he was,
all right.
obviously.
Like, let's move on now. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
He they were at a party, and I don't remember if they had kissed at the party yet. At this college party, they do end up kissing and like making out. And he said he called his college girlfriend that night and broke up with her.
Yup.
Because he thought it's happening.
Yup.
The day
they were
is
making
finally
eyes at each other.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And then nothing ever came of it.
Yeah.
But he broke up with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
And then he like knew the first book, her first book, like the dedication. He knew it
By
like, he
heart.
quoted it to
Yeah.
her.
He was like, I thought it was the nicest dedication anyone had ever written. And I was like,
Which it was something about her parents.
yeah.
I don't remember what, but it was super cute. Like her parents meet cute is adorable.
Yeah.
The carnival thing.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean, they really did have like the perfect love story.
Yeah, which is upsetting.
It was very upsetting. And so like, we finally, I mean, we're not doing it chronologically, right?
Nah.
Like we're just talking. Yeah.
We gave you the rundown.
That's the rundown. Now we're just
talking
gonna
about our
free.
faves.
Yeah. So she gave us like a summary of her parents' romance, and it really is like the most beautiful thing ever. They have a perfect little girl, you know, they love her, she loves them, they all have a great relationship, and then they get she gets cancer. Mama gets cancer. And you know, they have all the treatments, everything's fine, and then we're good. And she saw that as like, yeah, love really can fix everything. Like my dad was there for her, I was there for her, we were all a unit, like we're great. And then mom gets cancer again. Mm-hmm. And I think that's when, no, it's somewhere in between.
They break up.
Somewhere in
split
between
for a little.
that they split. Dad leaves for
This
a while.
is when he technically meets the mistress, is when he leaves.
He meets
think.
her again.
Because they went to high school together.
They went to high school together.
Okay, yeah.
She was in love with him in high school. And
Classic.
so when the opportunity arose, and she's the one that actually tells us
Yeah,
this
we get the story from the mistress.
reintroduction of like her and January's dad. And she's like, we really didn't mean for it to be what it was. It was completely accidental. I was broken. He was broken. We decided to be broken together. And then they had like officially split or whatever. He bought the house. He wanted to be back where he was home. He bought the house with her. Everything moved so quickly. And then mom got diagnosed with cancer the second time. And
So he went
she's
back.
like, it ended January. It ended then. But I can still mourn him now. And you actually can't hate me for that. Because I'm just a fucking human too. And she's even like, I have someone now. I'm happy. But you have got to stop holding this resentment towards him
yeah.
and me. Yeah, it was a very hard
Because that's
conversation.
kind of like in her mind, like why she can't write these romances anymore is her parents' relationship was a lie. The guy she thought she was going to marry was a lie.
Yeah.
Like in her head, that was a perfect relationship, and then they broke up. So she's like, well, what the hell has my life been? Everything. So she can't write the romance book or whatever. So
Yeah, and she had even admitted to like that ex-boyfriend just kind of like checking all the boxes. Like he was beautiful. He
Beautiful.
was, you know,
Didn't he
they
cook?
lit
I
each
don't know.
other up. But she said that when they weren't trying to be bright for each other, that there was actually nothing there. And I was like, wowzers. Like they were just like, it was like performative, their relationship was. They were both just performing so well. And then when it actually came down to it, there was nothing solid, which is a scary thought.
yeah.
And like, ugh.
Ugh.
Like imagine like getting out of a relationship and retrospectively being like, oh yeah, no, like that isn't even who I am. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. She was
Yeah.
performing.
So her life
Awkward
was
lake house.
in shambles. And yeah, she goes to this lake house
Oh,
that
and
her
she's
dad
broke
left
as
her.
fuck, by
Oh
the
yeah,
way.
she's
That's-
broke.
I think that's why she went to the house.
Yeah, she was gonna sell off the stuff, sell the house, and write her book all at once. It's a lofty goal, babe. Like that's a lot. But like she
She had
had
to
the
make
whole
some
summer.
money.
Yeah, and she needed money.
That's right. So I was like, why the fuck would you move into that house?
Yeah, she needed the
She
money.
had no place to live. I'm sure her mom would have taken her, but like we said, they're kind of button heads right now too. Because like mom will not talk about dad,
Yeah, she
and
said,
she's like, I have so many questions now, and like no one will answer them. And she hasn't opened the letter because she doesn't want, like that's like the last thing she'll hear from her dad, kind of thing. Like those are the last words, and so she just doesn't want to open it. Like
oh my gosh. I'm thinking about the letters now, sorry. I can't.
Yeah, there's actually multiple, but she thinks there's only one. Uh-oh, we're already starting?
This book got me.
Yeah.
It got me, and it's
This
weird.
book's a lot. There's a lot of grief.
There's a lot. There's a lot. And it's beautiful because it's a contemporary romance, quote unquote. I really do think that the romance just happened in this book. It wasn't sought out after. It wasn't the plot line even. It was just a happy happenstance that it happened. It is a book about grief.
Which is probably why it's so, like, popular.
It's so good.
It's not like a super cheesy romance.
No.
Like, there's a lot of other stuff going on.
There's
and,
a
like, especially
lot.
with his life.
Yes.
He eventually will tell, but he grew up, abusive father, had a mom, the mom wouldn't,
book.
You know?
Oh my gosh, another daddy issue
double dose
book.
of daddy issues.
What is going on?
It's just the way the world works.
Oh my god. My god.
I know, but so, you know, he says at one point in one of his, like, emotional vomitings that, you know, he's like, my mom wouldn't leave even when my dad broke my arm, and, like, I live with that, and did the mom die? And, like,
but not of abusive.
Yeah.
It was
just him and his dad, right?
Just him and his dad.
Which couldn't have been good.
Yeah, he dropped out of school.
And so he would go to his aunt's house a lot, which is his mom's sister. Mm-hmm. So the aunt still lives in this town. She's in this a lot. And she's kind of sneakily, I think, trying to get them together. But
not secretly.
She
even admits to it.
You're right.
Yeah.
She's pushing very hard.
Yes.
And so, like, that is his, like, family now. Because his dad's dead now as well, to my knowledge.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure he had, like, probably a heart attack, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I know that he was on medication because whenever he would get mad he referred to him as Augustus in, like, a negative connotation way. Whenever he would get mad, he would withhold his own medications from him. So the dad would not take the medicine. And Gus had to be like, seriously, like, stop, like, take your fucking meds, you know? And it was like,
couldn't be me.
That was a manipulation.
This is why I don't work with adults.
Like, you have to, that was like I'm dependent upon you type thing. Yeah.
No, you're going to be mad at me. You're going to piss me off. I'm going to die. And then you're going to feel guilty about it.
It's your fault.
Yeah, you're going to feel guilty about it.
No, like, some messed up shit. Like, this guy was messed up.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he broke his kid's arm. I mean, obviously, he's fucking messed up.
And I'm sure he beat the shit out of the mom, too.
Yeah. And so that is what actually inspires Augustus writing about cults. He's like, I want to know why people stay when everything
situations.
is saying that you should leave. And so that's, like, what initiated this, which is just...
Which is also why he doesn't write happy endings, because he's like, they're not real.
It's like, this doesn't happen. When the end of your life is actually when you die, and that's not really happy, is it? Like, that's
the
his
Notebook
thought.
would say otherwise. Just saying.
Just saying.
I mean, if you could choose to die at the exact same time...
That still blows my damn mind.
I was saying the other day...
It's a book.
I was saying
I know.
the other day, not based on this book, but another book, I was like, oh, I better die before Aaron. Like, I better die before him. Or else we're like, if he's...
Joe and I fight about it. Oh, not like actually, but we're like, no, you're going to die first. No, you're going to die first.
No, if he's on his deathbed and they're like, he's got 5 minutes, I'm like,
Me too.
Where's the medical morphine? Like, blow that shit up, because I'm gone too. What do you mean? Like, I'm not... No. That's actually one of the worst ideas, like, one of the worst things about marriage, I think, is one of you's gonna fucking die, and the other one has to live without you. I think that's the worst idea of marriage. I would almost rather live alone. Isn't that fucked up? It is.
I mean, that's kind of Gus's philosophy.
Hey. Oh, wait.
You said, hey.
Actually, earlier I was going to say I liked this book a lot, even though I couldn't relate to it all.
You said, So another very unfortunate event in Gus's life is he was married.
Oh, yeah. That's like...
So, yeah. I forgot, though. Yeah. When I reread it, I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
So the first time we see him, there's a big party going on in his house. He's sitting on the back deck pouting. And that's when she runs into him and, like, is talking to him, but she doesn't realize who it is because it's dark. And she sees him the next day and finds out who he is. Whatever. We find out later by the aunt that that's his birthday.
Yup.
And his friend, like one of his best friends, always throws a party. And he was sad because that's the day she left him. Quote unquote. So, like, that's the day his wife, like, told him she was leaving, was on his birthday because she cheated on him with his best man, which I believe was his college roommate.
Yep.
And so now his wife has left him with the best man, blah, 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 blah. During one of the fights, bro, that he was having with January.
Yeah.
Because January knew some things from the aunt, and
I know
he
what you're
wasn't
gonna say.
saying, and so she was poking and prodding him, kind of being a bitch, to be honest. And so he, like, just fucking explodes, dude. And I felt so effing bad. This is when he tells her, like, my wife, you want me to tell you my wife cheated on me with my best man? You want me to tell you that she left me on my birthday, blah, 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 blah. Him saying, like, I would have stayed. Like, she left. I said, no, I'll take you back, whatever. And she still went. And then he said, my mom didn't leave my dad when he broke my arm. And yet I couldn't do anything to make my wife stay. Bro, I cried. I fucking cried.
I did too. No, that was rough because that's one of those things that you say in the heat of the moment and then you realize that you fucking said it and you can't shove it back in your mouth. And it's just like these big explosions of vulnerability when your body is finally like, no, I need you to speak. You can't hold this anymore. And it's just like, oh, it was so raw. Like it was
their first argument was wild.
Yeah, and it's
which I don't remember why she was poking him and prodding him. She was being kind of a bitch and I can't remember why. And so she storms away because they were line dancing. She storms outside once again. I don't remember why. And
I can't either. It must have been irrational. I mean,
100% because it's so funny. He goes, "What did I do?" And she goes, "Nothing." And I literally wrote in my notes, "Poor Gus. Sometimes women really are crazy."
Yeah.
Because we go, "Nothing."
Yeah.
When obviously it's something, and then they fought and the big explosion fight happened, but
yeah. Yeah, there was anytime Gus was vulnerable, you just wanted to give him a big hug after.
I know.
Like, as a reader, you're like,
Sweet boy.
like, you're just holding the book to you. Like, oh my gosh. Like, yeah, because he was just like a broken soul.
He really is.
He really is. In January, she's had like this great life, and then it fell apart.
Yeah.
So she just is questioning everything, doubts everything, So,
Sorry.
I'm sure her questions probably came from insecurity. Like, this is a good thing. What's going to happen?
I think she was mad because she's been kind of doing the whole, talking about her dad, talking about her sadness. And she found this out from his aunt, and, like, he's not telling her anything. So she feels like, I'm opening up so much to you, and you're still closed off. Like, what? Had they kissed at this point? Or done anything? I don't remember.
I think it was just starting to be like the will they, won't they?
Yeah. And then I
don't know. I mean, I buzzed through this both times.
That's true. Really fast. It's a quick read.
It's a quick read, and it's you want to read it. Like, you really don't want to put it down. So the first time I read it, I think it was last summer that I read it. I think in, like, 3 pool tanning sessions, I finished it. Because I would take it to the pool with me.
That's funny.
And then this time I listened to it as an audiobook. Very good audiobook, by the way. It's that audiobook narrator that I really, really like.
Jessica Whalen?
Yes.
Is it Jessica?
Yeah, it's something Whalen.
Yeah.
Something with a J. Whalen. She wrote her own book. No, she's phenomenal. I think she does all of Taylor Jenkins Reid and all of Emily Henry's.
Oh, yeah, because you said she did one.
Oh, my gosh.
I think it's Jessica Whalen.
Phenomenal.
Sounds
I
right.
think it is.
We looked at Joe.
That is a Googler.
Another one of the, like, emotional ass moments is, she's starting to, like, open up to Gus. They're talking, and she realized he's been there for a few years.
Yeah.
And then she was like, did you ever meet my dad? Bro. And then she said a part of me had been hoping all this time that Gus had known him.
So that she could get more stories of him.
And that, and just, I think also people, when you're close to your dad, you want them to have met the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with.
Honestly.
Like, that's something I'm sure everybody wants. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one reason why she said that she had stayed with her ex, too. Is because during the scary parts, she knew that at least her mom had met him. And so, like, when they weren't sure.
Exactly. So if she were to have died, at least mom had met the man I'm going to be with.
Yep.
And so now she doesn't get that.
No.
And she thought maybe, like...
And with the other parent, too. Like, this was the unexpected one. Like,
Correct.
They're watching on Mama, thinking Mama's gonna, at any point in time. And then it's Dad who unexpectedly passed away.
Yeah,
like,
I think he had a
what?
stroke. But
I think it was a stroke.
Yeah, and then she just literally starts breaking down and bawling when he was like, I don't think I met him. Like...
Yeah.
Bro, that was so sad. This part I thought was strange. She was, like, kissing away her tears.
Yeah.
I feel like that's happened in a few books.
Yeah. Oh, well, it happens in... No, in...
Does it? I thought that was weird.
Oh, did you? I thought it was very sweet.
Oh, I feel like it tastes weird.
It's fair.
I was like, kind of
Salty.
And then they start, I think this might be a little bit later, but they're having, they have intercourse.
The first time is in a tent, right?
Is it?
I think it's in a tent outside of the...
Was that the first time?
when they went to the cult site that
Because
had
they were
been
having an
burned down.
argument before they went to the cult site, but I can't remember why. And, she's like, we're supposed to go on this, what?
It's Whalen.
Julia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a J. And so they were arguing.
Julia Whalen. Sorry, that's what Joe just confirmed for us. Her name is Julia Whalen. Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember why they were arguing. Sorry. They're supposed to go on another field trip. They're going to go to the cult site. He's going to camp there, look at the place. I don't really know what his grand plan is. Draw a map. I think he did draw a map of the, cult grounds. Anyway, he's like...
Spooky.
Spooky. She was like, we still going to go? And he's like, well, if you want to.
Which is the worst thing to say to a woman?
No. I already thought about Joe about this because he does this shit to me all the fucking time. And when I was reading this book, I was like, oh, Joe, I'm going to beat your ass. And then he said, and he's not even the one saying it, but I just know he does it. I was like, ooh. And he goes, I want you to do what you want to do. Bro, if I could make a $5 every time Joe said that to me, fucking rich. And it makes me so mad. I'm like, what the fuck do you want to do?
I wouldn't be asking if I didn't want to. Honestly. I wouldn't be asking if I can join, if you want me to. I wouldn't be asking that if I was not willing or wanting to do it. So just answer yes or no. Yeah, no. I hate that.
If I'm doing a task or going somewhere already and you say, do you want to go? I don't care. If you want to come, you can come. I'm doing the task. You could be there if you want to.
Oh. It makes no difference. That's all I hear.
Your presence means nothing to me.
Makes no difference to me. That's what I hear. And I know it's a little fucked up. I'm sure that's a little insecurity of mine, maybe. I don't know. Let's explore it, but not right now. But anyways.
I don't know. She said that to me and I was like...
I think they did sleep together before.
Okay.
Because I think they were in the basement. Is that weird?
Before the 4th of July party?
I don't know, because I put... tent scene where they talked about the awkwardness between them since they slept together.
Oh, okay.
Because they did do a little makeout sesh.
They said.
They did do a makeout sesh at the drive-in.
Yeah.
That was before the line dancing.
Yes.
So they had kissed. Thank God I wrote a little bit of a little map situation here. And so they must have slept together at some point before this New Eden. Because I think that's why they were mad at each other, because they weren't talking about it.
I think they slept together before they went to the 4th of July party.
For sure.
So the 4th of July party happened.
I don't think it's happened yet. I think they went to Eden first.
I don't know.
Anyway.
We're the worst with timelines.
Oh, I know.
He's like from last time when he goes, I don't know how you guys get through these books.
Well, vibes.
But while I was reading this, I didn't really feel like there was ever a third act breakup. Kind of. They had their arguments. Here, they were awkwardly not talking to each other for a little bit. Mm-hmm. But it was never more than a day or a few hours, and then they would talk about it. Mm-hmm. And so...
I mean, she had her big breakdown at the end.
Yeah, where she ran away or whatever.
Yeah.
But once again, that was
not
she
an
didn't
actual
necessarily
breakup.
say they broke up, and then he was there maybe a day and a half later.
Yeah.
And they made up. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think they were stupid.
No, neither one of them were stupid. I don't think either one of them were stupid.
I did about this book is that they were able to. I feel like they communicated really well.
Yeah, and even when they weren't communicating well, they were at least acknowledging I can't right now. You know?
Because I remember writing, she said she wasn't going to bring it up first, them sleeping together. But, and then I said, I'm glad she did. Because she did end up being okay, bro, are we going to talk about it or not?
Yeah.
Because, in the car to New Eden, it was awkward. Because it's a long fucking drive. It was awkward. They didn't really talk. But then finally when they get there, she's like, okay. I can't wait anymore. What are we doing here? And so I wrote, they didn't really have a miscommunication trope. Because they...
Speaking on communication, one of the cute things that they did as they would. Their houses were right next to each other, and there was big windows in both of the houses where you could basically see right through the other one. And she had talked shit, and she was like, "That's not something my mother would have overlooked if looking at a house."
Oh my God, you're right.
Like just like that.
The windows literally being the exact same.
So she could see into his office and into his kitchen. And they started doing, like, she even said in the book, like, the Taylor Swift, like, holding a note up in the window type thing. So they would talk back and forth on these fucking notepad things.
So cute.
Yeah, and then he finally wrote his number down and was like, okay, this is getting exhausting. You know, like, they had this competition. Yeah, they do still do it, which I think is cute. And then they start flirting through it, too. It's like, who knew writing was this hard? Like, that's the only thing he says back, and I'm like, what a guy.
Tired.
You know? Literally.
There was a lot of Taylor Swift in this.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. So that, first of all, like, from the You Belong With Me video, she brings up Taylor Swift again, like, very overtly. It said somewhere... Oh, it said, and that January was probably buried wherever they put the old Taylor Swift.
Taylor can't go to the phone now. Why?
Well, yeah.
Because she's dead.
And then there was another one that reminded me of Taylor. So there's like a quote. I think it was...
She's using my jacket as a pillow, and I love her for it. No, I love her. Look, she looks so happy right now.
My dog,
Sorry.
Daisy, is snuggling with Caitlin's sweater.
She looks like she's smiling. She's happy dog.
She's sleeping. But I think it was Gus, because they were talking about the happy endings and why he doesn't like them. And she's like, what the hell is your problem, pretty much. And he says, love is more likely to blow up in your face than to bring eternal happiness. And if it doesn't hurt you, then you're the one hurting someone else. Entering a relationship is borderline masochistic. But anyway, it reminded me of Blank Space from Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like, so it's going to be forever or it's going to go down in flames. You can tell me when it's over if the high was worth the pain.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this bitch really likes Taylor Swift too.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where that came from, but that's like immediately what popped into my head.
That's hilarious that is immediately what popped. I think I see everything through a Swiftie lens. I'm like,
I don't know who I am anymore.
Honestly, who are we?
It's rough. But that was Raw. That was it, okay?
About
the
Taylor
signs.
Swift?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The signs, then buried, and then I thought that reminded me of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, no. Yeah. The author and the character, both obviously obsessed with Taylor Swift.
Truth.
And, you know, at the end of the audiobook, there's like a section. I don't know if it's in the physical book or not. I didn't read it. I wasn't exposed to it before, but that doesn't mean it wasn't there. But Emily Henry says that the reason why she wrote this book was because she herself was in a writing block. Like, she couldn't write for shit.
So she wrote something else.
So she wrote something else.
That makes sense how this
is
her first...
And she wrote about an author who couldn't fucking write and the reasons why she couldn't write. And so she's like, and then before I knew it, I had like an actual character with depth and with character, and I could see her. And like, she channeled through January. And then this beautiful book came out of it from writer's block. It was her getting out a writer's block piece. And obviously it did well.
But I thought that's the genre she fucking writes in.
Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting because as I was listening to it, I was like, I wonder how awkward it is for an author to write about an author.
Yeah.
You know, like, what do you call yourself out on, and what do you like highlight about the the experience of being an author? But yeah, it was really intriguing. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought she obviously did really well.
After they get over their awkward ass shit.
Yeah.
They are having a good time, like in the blissful part of the honeymoon relationship phase. Yeah. They go to some event at a bookstore in this little town because his aunt owns it. I don't remember what the fuck they're doing, but it's some event with them. Okay? They go to the 4th of July party at his aunt's, have a great time, whatever. Go to this event. Gus's wife shows up at the event.
Yeah, and the divorce still is not finalized.
Yeah, the divorce isn't finalized, which at one point she does bring up, like, what the fuck, I'm doing exactly what my dad did.
Oh, hurt. Oh, stab.
You know what I'm saying?
Open wound. Wow.
Because she's like, they're not actually divorced.
Yeah.
They're split up.
Yeah.
Like her dad and mom were when the mistress came in.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? So she's
what a lesson.
She's so fucking pissed at her dad. So mad at her dad and this woman. And then...
But Gus is her dad.
Okay, don't say that.
But, like, come on.
Gus is not the one who did anything. Jesus Christ.
The dad is the one who left.
Yes.
Gus was left.
She's just being the other woman, kind of.
I mean, that's, yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. But
Yeah.
context.
Because, you know, she's mad at this mistress, but in that mistress's mind, they're split up. They're going to divorce. I'm not doing anything wrong.
It's the man that she loved. It was her first love. It was her first kiss. You know, they grew up together, like all that shit.
So I thought that was interesting. Like shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're so mad, and yet here you are doing
Now,
kind of the same thing.
her reading the letter, was that before?
It was after.
It was after.
So the wife shows up, and Gus talks to her, which I don't know if we hear any of that conversation. We later find out she's like trying to get back together with Gus. Hilarious, first of all.
Honestly.
Fuck you, bitch.
For real.
I don't even think it's been that long. Like, since probably a year, because his birthday.
I think it was a year.
So, like, it's been about a year she's been with this other guy. Because she stayed with the best man.
But to have an affair and leave your husband for the guy you had an affair with and then come back with, like, in a year's time, that is not a lot of time.
No.
It's not. Like,
So,
you
like,
left
was
your
that worth it?
husband for another man, and it didn't even last more than, 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, let's reevaluate some things, honey.
So when January sees the wife, she doesn't actually know it's her, but she
can
knows
tell.
it's her. She's like, that's her.
Well,
Like,
because
it's crazy.
Pete was like, hey, Pete the
seemed
aunt,
uncomfortable.
Pete
He got kind of mad.
she tried to get her to leave.
Yeah.
And then Maggie, who I think is facilitating the questions, Maggie is Pete's wife. She was facilitating the questions, and you can see her get, like,
Stiff, probably.
picked up, like, whoa.
Yeah, her body language changed.
And
for
Maggie's
sure.
never
Because
shown
they're
that.
protective over Gus. Because
Very
this is their nephew.
protective over Gus. And Gus even, like...
I'm sure that bitch went white as a ghost.
Yeah.
I mean, I would.
So, I mean, context. You're
Yeah.
looking at Pete, who's obviously aggravated. You're looking at Maggie, who's in a protective mama mode. And then Gus is just, like, his stone face that he gets when he's pushing everyone away.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna make... Yeah. This gorgeous girl, that's her. That's her. She's like, oh, I look nothing like her, was one of the thoughts she had. Because, obviously, we're gonna fucking do that.
Sorry, we are who we are.
We are who we are. Man, yeah.
We're
like,
women.
That, like, heart through the ass fucking feeling, Like, just, like,
I think
drop.
she, like, thinks she's going to vomit, no?
Yeah, probably. I don't know if I can't remember if she specifically says that, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'd be like, actually, I gotta, give me... Yeah.
So
No.
she sees this. He goes and talks to her. And I don't think she even waits for that conversation to
Nope.
be done. She just leaves.
Dips.
Goes home. Probably.
Walks.
Yeah. It's a tiny town. So I'm assuming it's not that bad. But she's like probably bawling her fucking eyes out. She gets to her house and Sonya's on her doorstep.
Sonya's the mistress.
Sonya's the mistress.
Yeah.
And Sonya's like, I've been trying. Because the mistress lives in the fucking town, by the way. And she's been running into her.
Everywhere.
And so she was like, I need to talk to you now. Like, I've given you time. Like, I have to talk to you. And that's kind of when we get the whole story.
Of what I was referring to earlier.
Of how Sonya and the dad met and their love story and all that. And then she was like, you never read the letter, did you? Because of something.
She said letters.
Correct.
And January was like,
What?
letters? And she was like, you never read it.
Yeah, like you didn't read the first one.
And I've forgotten that part.
Me too. I didn't even know there was. I forgot literally almost everything.
So I'm so glad that you reread it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But I had forgotten that. So hearing that again, I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, oh shit, bro, I can't.
I can't imagine her mental space. Not well.
So instantly she goes in.
Grabs the first letter, reads it, finds there's more. Don't remember where. Oh, a safe, whatever. Gets all the letters. So he has been writing one every year on her birthday for her whole life. So there's a lot of them. And also finds out her dad owns a boat. And so she owns a boat. And so she takes these letters on the boat and just like, because they sail, ?
Yeah.
Like they would do this together. Fish, ?
So they would go boating. He would go on business trips, is what she thought as when she was young, is that it was a business trip. And as soon as he'd come back, he'd wake her up and they'd go out on the boat. And as an adult, she saw this as like, oh, he was feeling guilty.
That's what I would have thought.
So he was trying to like feel better about himself by having a good day with me.
Deed. So he owns a boat, and so now she goes to the boat, like sits on the boat, and reads all these letters, which we read quite a few of them. Okay. And then I think she like texts or calls her friend and was like, I need you to get here now.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, on a train.
Yeah. So she got there. And then
You're just gonna skip over the letters like that, girl?
Bro, I can't remember what they say. Go.
Stop. The first one, he writes her as like the day she's born. So it starts from literally the day she's
birthdays.
born. Literally, he's like talking about like how perfect she is. And then throughout each letter, he's like, man, like you're an actual human now. Like this is what. And I mean, I can't remember any of the specifics, but I just remember crying the entire fucking time. Because and then there was one when he fucked up.
Yeah.
He was like, January.
He writes about the split.
He was like, I fucked up. He's like, I found this girl. I rekindled a relationship. I fucked up, but I promise I'm going to fix it. Oh my God. I can't. And he did.
I mean, yeah.
She doesn't know because all she knows is that this mistress exists and that her mom won't talk about it. She doesn't know the timeline. She doesn't know that he left and was fully with her mom. Until, and so she's finally, like, coming through this acceptance through his letters where the vulnerability of him being like, I fucked up and I'm going to fix it. Like, oh, man, that gutted me.
Gutted, yeah.
It did.
Yeah, it's pretty. And then, she's
A mess.
a lot going on now.
Yeah.
She probably thinks Gus is going to get back together with What's-Her-Face because he's kind of fucking said it.
And he did. He said, I would have stayed with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's that. Her bestie shows up. They have their little good bestie. She said, get the fuck up, clean the house. Like,
yeah. She's like, we're not talking until you get new pairs of pants on and you eat something.
Do the dishes. Yeah. And then they have their little cry sesh. And then Gus shows up.
Banging on the door.
Banging on the door.
He's like, I gotta talk to you. January, please, I gotta talk to you. She looks over at her friend and she's like, what would you do? And she's like, you already know what I'd do. She's like, you're right.
Her friend's like a huge romantic.
Yeah.
As well.
Honestly, a great best friend. Like one of the best friends that we've read about. She's amazing. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, and then she goes outside. Gus isn't outside anymore, and she's looking around. His car's not there, and she's like, "Oh, I fucked up." Like he's not here.
Too long, yeah.
Waited too long from when he got there, and she hears music coming out of the house, which is the same situation that the first night that they re-met. His music was blaring out of his house, and he comes out, and the first thing he says, "I didn't really think this through. The music's too loud."
Can't talk.
And she's like, what are we doing? And he's like, I thought we could dance or something. Which I just think is like that cute, like the Friday night romantic things that they did. And he was like, this is just one of those, Friday night romantic things that we do. And no, that's not the grand gesture, I don't think. I think the grand gesture comes at the epilogue.
I mean, like I said, like there wasn't really a third act breakup, so I don't know if I'd ever
No, I think
there was one. I mean, this is them. I feel like it's the equivalent of the grand gesture, like them kind of coming together. He was like, this is what she said, this is what she wanted.
Yeah, and he was very open about it. I took my time,
and I told her, nah.
Yeah.
And, I want to be with you. And she's like, well, I'm broken. And he's like, well, that's fine. And so they kind of just agree to be broken little babies together.
Yeah.
And then they're together. We get an epilogue. It's 9 months later. She sold her. So, fuck this, dude. The whole book is them fucking writing these books.
Oh, yeah.
So, they've been doing that.
Oh, yeah.
We get a lot of her book.
Yeah.
I don't care, honestly.
I don't think I would
It sounded
read it.
kind of awful.
Yeah.
No offense.
Like the book that she's writing within the book that she's writing? No. Not her best work.
No. Thank God that was not published.
Yeah.
Maybe that was her other...
That was what she was going to start with.
That was her other writer's block. Anyway. So she's writing this literary fiction about these fucking carnies. And they go to Tulsa, and it's, just of course, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And it's, stuff she's dealing with in her life. So the dad of this family has a secret family, and the girl fell in love with one of the townies, but they have to leave. And, there's just all kinds of stupid drama. It's like a drama, carnival, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She sold this book.
Yeah.
Somehow. Before he sold his book.
Yeah.
So the 9 months later, they're at the book event. Her book's out. Whatever. He didn't write a romance book, but whatever. His book also sold, but just a little bit after. So his will be coming out. It's his birthday now. So this will be a year after they've re-met. And they read each other's books on the beach, which I'm like, you didn't read each other's books before this moment?
Yeah, I know. I thought
They're
that was
published.
interesting too.
They're done
like,
and published.
Was that a part of the competition that was just like understood? You know, like
Because they were supposed to blurb each other's book too. That was the winner. Like the other one gets the other one to blurb their book. Mm-hmm. But whatever. So they're reading each other's books on the beach. They go back to his place, and there's a bunch of people there, and he proposes with a sign, like the Taylor Swift sign thing. I don't know what it said. Probably, will you marry me? But that's how he proposes, and they get married. I'm assuming.
yeah,
So would you rate it?
4.5.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, because it gave me all the feels.
For sure.
It gave me all the feels. There's not a single thing that I would change, and I don't think there's anything necessarily missing from the plot. But there was something, I don't know, it wasn't a 5-star.
I feel that.
For me.
I could see how it's 4.5. I mean, I put it 5 on Goodreads.
Yeah.
But I agree, like 4.5 probably.
Solid.
Because I didn't think it was a 5-star, but like you said, like there's nothing I would change about it.
There's nothing I would change about it.
Not a damn thing.
Maybe the like proposing after a year thing was a little quick, but I guess like they...
Most people do that. We're the odd ones.
Are we the odd ones?
We're the weird ones.
Are we?
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
It is weird.
Because most people look at us
Yeah.
and you tell people that you're not, they're like, you've been with him how long?
Yeah, I know. I hate it. I'm like, one, it's actually none of your business when I decide to get married because it's also my decision, not just his. Thanks. But yeah, one, they're like, so what, you were 12 when you met because I don't look my age,
That's true.
you know? But yeah, I mean, it'll be 9 years this summer, Aaron and I, 9 years. And y'all's is 8? Or you just...
We just 7.
You just 7. Yeah. Ours will be
January.
9 years this summer. And I don't see a ring in sight for a while. Honestly, like, we've got to get some shit figured out first. Like, I'm chilling. Like...
So I do also think like a year is kind of wow. But they did know each other before.
Yeah.
Like they weren't strangers, kind of, pretty much.
Yeah.
But
and I mean, I guess
also a
like after
book.
this summer, like she sold the
all
beach
of our
house.
books end in a fucking proposal, dude.
Yeah.
You never had qualms with those.
But they
Those
weren't.
billionaire books?
Oh, wait.
No shot that was even a year.
I don't know. Maybe.
Dude, Rowan was probably 3 months. That book. You know what I'm saying?
Points.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So
So why? I mean, I guess I'm just trying to look for that 0.5.
you're trying to
Like, where's my 0.5? Because
I know,
I
I get
can't find it, but it's just not a 5-star.
I agree. But it's damn fucking near.
It's damn good.
I put spiciness, 1 pepper, question mark.
Half pepper.
Yeah, like,
Yeah. I mean, there's sex. It's more of an emotional depiction of sex than it is physical, though. So maybe that's
That's for
why
sure.
It's like a half pepper.
but I definitely forgot how sad this book was.
Yeah, it's definitely more laced with grief and sorrow than anything else. Like, just both of them broken people. But,
My soul.
yeah, beautiful in the healing.
Someone at work, I don't remember who, but they were like, why is it called beach read? I'm like, that's a damn good question. One, it's fucking sad as shit. It's really not a beach read. In my opinion. You don't want to be on a public beach reading this.
You know, I've read books in public
I
and
know.
cried in public and been called out for it.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
At Starbucks? Mm-hmm. They said, what the hell are you reading?
No, this girl came up and she said, "What are you reading?" I said, "Why?" And she goes, "I just look like I'm watching your reactions and I've got to get on this." And I was like, "Oh, well, I think it was the second Avatar book.
was.
Yeah. I was a fucking mess.
Second or third? Because the third one was rough too.
I think it was the third.
The third one was.
I think it was the
fucking
third.
painful.
Whatever. My mistake. I read the last 100 pages of a Sarah J. Maas book in a public place. That was just
That's on you,
stupid.
dog.
That was on me. And I thought I was being subtle. Obviously not.
She said, we're all looking at you.
No, these 3 baristas are like, "Are you good?" Like, no, I was not good. And I told them what it was. I said, "Hop on the train. It's fucking worth it. Thank you for the coffee. Goodbye." Like,
Goodbye.
I was fucking embarrassed as shit, bro.
You're like, I gotta go now.
Like, I gotta go.
Freaking embarrass my ass and I'm done with my book.
Yeah, I actually don't think I've been back to that Starbucks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was shameful. I really thought I was being subtle.
What are your thoughts on Gus as a boyfriend?
I mean, he really did do everything right, I think.
After I pictured him as Jess, I was like, damn,
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, I mean, I loved Jess. Like, he was the one that I had hoped would be endgame.
Yeah.
Like, after all this time, I thought he would be endgame. I still don't know who endgame was because I never finished. because the first episode of the whatever it was made me fucking mad. I was like, nothing is happening. Like, I don't care. So I don't know who Endgame is. Maybe I'll find out one day. I don't know. But I really was hoping it was Jess. But no, I loved him. I loved him. You know I love a sad little emo boy. What the heck?
That is what he was.
And I actually liked January a lot too.
Yeah, no, I did like both of them.
Yeah.
A lot. And she's only 29.
Yeah.
Like, when they said that in the book, I don't know why, but I always picture them to be, like, older than us.
Stop. Whoa.
You know what I'm saying, though? You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
like, I'll be 29 this year.
Babes. Wow.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah. Whoa.
Isn't that weird?
It is weird.
So she was younger than I thought.
I'm gonna enter my Pride and Prejudice year, and I'm really excited about it.
What does that mean?
27.
I'm 27. With no prospects.
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah, my birthday party this year is gonna be Pride and Prejudice themed. We're gonna have excellent boiled potatoes. Don't worry.
Okay.
You're all invited.
Do I have to dress up? Do I have to dress up in contemporary English? Like,
I haven't decided yet, Joe. I'll let you know.
okay.
I'll let you know.
That seems like a hard thing to get, you know.
I'll hold up.
I'll get you a little white linen.
I'm not trying to wear a corset.
Ah, fine, lamos.
I mean,
We'll talk
I'll
about
just
it.
make it loose.
You don't have like a big waist to like hold in, so like I feel like it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
True.
They still don't look like it's comfortable.
I mean, yeah,
Well,
you're stuck like this.
The Bennetts aren't wealthy, so they wear like, you know,
Raggedy ass.
normal cotton dresses.
Okay.
Yeah, no stress.
It's a lot of layers, though. We're in Oklahoma.
Look,
That's pretty
And her
hot.
birthday is in August?
Okay, listen, the last Darcy scene that
hottest month
matters.
ever?
Fine. Okay, fine.
We're shitting on your birthday.
Yeah, no.
I'll have some tea, though.
Yeah, we're gonna have tea. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but it's gonna be grand.
Okay.
Yep.
You have any final thoughts?
No. 10 out of 10. 9 out of 10. But I mean, like, it was vibes. The vibes were immaculate. It's a good book. That's my final thoughts. Well,
What are we reading next time?
oh my gosh, are you so excited?
Yeah,
The next book that we're covering is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
my favorite.
Yeah. She's been trying to get me to read this book for how long? Over a year,
Too
it feels
long.
like.
I don't remember when I read it in May
No
2023.
way. No way.
So not even a year ago.
I mean-
so a year I've been trying to get her to read it probably.
yeah, you finished it and you instantly were like, bitch.
Read it now.
Yeah. Have you watched the movie yet?
Yes.
You did?
Cried just as much.
Yes, I cried a lot in the movie.
Really? Did it?
Yes.
I don't want to know, actually. I want to watch the movie. I was
Yeah,
going to
watch
ask.
it yourself.
I think I will. Yep, so that's for next time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for listening, watching, and following us on Instagram at Our Book Boyfriends Podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I forgot to mention one thing that I really liked, and it's just one little line, and Emily Henry has these cute little one-liners that I really like, but this one was, one sec.
I'm like, get the damn paper.
Yeah. I literally only have one note, and that's it.
And she forgot to say it.
I forgot to say it. The quote is, "The warmth filled me up until I felt like a tea kettle trying hard not to whistle." And I think that is a beautiful sentence because that's what my joy sometimes feels like. Like when I'm in an extremely happy moment, I feel it like in my chest and I could cry. Like I could
Yes.
cry and it's just like, I don't know why I feel like crying, but I feel it in my throat. I just feel joy.
It's like,
You know, and it's just like filling me up and I feel like a tea kettle trying not to
Yes.
whistle. And I just thought that the way that she wrote that was just really
there was
beautiful.
another line I wrote similar-esque, but it was like, you know that feeling when you're watching someone sleep and you feel overwhelmed with joy that they exist?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
When I come home from work, Joe's like sleeping, and you know, because I come home at fucking 8 a.m.
Yeah.
He's sleeping. And I feel that, and I just want to squeeze him.
I know. I wake up before Aaron. Aaron and I have very, very different wake
Schedules.
times. So sometimes I look over at Aaron and I get filled with joy that this person exists. I'm like, and then you think about him, you're like, wow, that really is like my person in life. Like that. Yeah. So I just loved that line. It made me feel a lot of emotions, and just like the 12 words that it is. And Emily Henry's entire book actually really did. Like every
Lots of
emotion that she articulated, I was like, whoa, like those are the words to actually match. Like, because emotions are irrational.
Hard.
They're hard, and communicating them is a difficult task. But the lines that she put, I mean, just like, whoa, like, wow, that is grief. Like, that is love. Like,
Yeah.
wow. No, it was great. And I really wanted to point that one out because it was a line that took me aback, because I was like, whoa, there it is. Like, that is the feeling of joy. It was beautiful. That's all. I'm so glad Joe allowed me
To express that.
to express that and enter that into the podcast. Okay, bye.
Bye.